Welcome back to the Malaysia Money Matters show. It's the 12th of November, 25.
Great to be here.
Our mission today is to cut straight through the noise, delivering the most important financial, corporate, and political news.
And explaining exactly what it means for you and your money.
And we have a fascinating day ahead. It really shows this deep tension between corporate recovery and some massive infrastructure setbacks.
Exactly. And, starting on the corporate front, we see that dynamic really clearly. Take Hartalega Holdings.
Right. Their 2Q profit more than doubled.
It did, to RM 18.3 million. And look, this isn't just a fluke. It's a confirmation that their cost controls are actually working.
So even with that global supply glut we hear so much about, demand is coming back.
It's steadily recovering. That's a really strong signal of stability in what's been a very tough sector.
But if Hartalega is a recovery story, Dialog Group is, well, it's an alarm bell.
A loud one. Over R1 billion ringgit wiped from their market value.
In just 2 days.
Right. And this is all tied to the continued delays with that huge Pengerang project.
Now, push back to Q1 2029, maybe even later. For a company expecting a 60% equity interest, that's just devastating for future earnings.
It is. Meanwhile, you have the construction sector just moving full steam ahead. Kerjaya Prospek, for instance.
They secured new contracts, right? RM 197.7 million.
Correct. Related party contracts. But the key number is their outstanding order book. It's now at a very robust RM 3.7 billion.
Which basically guarantees their revenue stream for the next 3 or 4 years.
Exactly. And speaking of big projects, we saw the joint launch of Eco Business Park 7.
That's the one with EcoWorld, NS Corp, and SD Guthrie.
A massive RM 3 billion project. And this is meant to be a catalyst for the Malaysia Vision Valley 2.0. For anyone who doesn't know, that's the big national strategy for growing in advanced manufacturing and logistics right in the central region.
But it's not all smooth sailing. Coastal Contracts had to terminate a lift boat deal.
Yeah, a RM $12.8 million deal. The vessel simply failed its technical inspection.
And on the capital markets, it's a bit of a mixed bag. The EcoWorld Group IPO was, 6 times oversubscribed?
Huge demand there. And PSP Energy set its IPO price at 16 sen to fund operations, including a new bunker vessel.
And we're seeing more listings on the horizon. MTT Shipping and Logistics is targeting the main market.
They're looking to expand their fleet into new regions, like the Indian subcontinent.
But there's also a necessary check on integrity here. Bursa Malaysia reprimanded Solar District Cooling Group.
Right, for breaching that 25% public shareholding requirement before their debut. A reminder that rules matter.
And some companies are in real trouble. Tagil Holdings units are seeking judicial management.
Which, for the listener, means they're asking a court to supervise a reorganization. They've got severe cash flow strain.
And a quick legal update. Pelungi Prestasi, Syed Mokhtar Bukhari's company, got a stay against paying RM 85.76 million to Sabah Forest Industries.
Citing concerns that SFI itself is insolvent. We should also take a moment to note the passing of Sarawak tycoon Tiong Hu King, the founder of Rembunan Hijau Group.
Okay, shifting gears to politics. The federal government is walking a real tightrope with Sabah over that 40% revenue claim.
They've confirmed they'll negotiate, but
they're also appealing the legality of a previous review. Classic political hedge.
Absolutely. And tied to this, the finance minister, the second, had to clarify that Petronas only makes about a 10% gross margin from production.
Directly pushing back on claims that it's hoarding oil revenue from Borneo.
Right. And on the ground, Petroleum Sarawak, or Petros, signed 3 new agreements. One is with Woodside Energy to assess carbon capture and storage. That's a big deal.
And speaking of big deals, the government is really focused on cleaning house. The Prime Minister says the 1MDB asset recovery is in its final stages.
Another billion ringgit recently recovered.
At the same time, the PM is pushing Khazanah to speed up its rare earth element development with China. And Perudo is about to launch its first affordable, fully Malaysian-made EV.
So much happening. But this next one, this is profound. Bank Negara.
This is a huge policy shift.
It is. BNM is introducing a mandatory 15-minute financial education module for large personal loans, starting in 2027.
And crucially, they're banning flat rate and the notorious rule of 78 methods for new loans.
And for you listening, that rule of 78 ban is massive. It stops lenders from front-loading interest, which penalizes you heavily for early repayment. A huge win for consumers.
Also on policy, RM 1.97 billion was allocated for pension adjustments, benefiting nearly 1 million people starting in 2026.
A few quick legal notes. A landowner filed a stay against land acquisition for the West Coast Expressway.
We also have a joint trial ordered for all 230 money laundering cases against the GISB Holdings CEO and others.
And that shortlist for the new chief judge of Malaya is causing a stir, with one controversial candidate on the list.
All right, let's zoom out to the international scene. It's a very different picture. Global CEOs are, they're not worried about a slowdown.
Not at all. Least worried since 2007, even with high stock valuations. S&P 500 earnings are projected to grow 14.5% this quarter.
And it's all about one thing.
AI. The mania is driving huge strategic shifts. SoftBank sold its entire NVIDIA stake.
All of it. That was worth over $5 billion US.
US $5.83 billion, yes. But this isn't a retreat, it's a pivot. They're cashing out to fund even bigger AI investments, reporting a doubled profit thanks to gains in OpenAI.
The demand is just unprecedented.
It is. JP Morgan projects the AI data center boom will need, get this, $5 to $7 trillion in funding, globally.
And we're seeing the response. Microsoft is planning a $10 billion AI data center in Portugal.
Nebius Group just signed a $3 billion deal with Meta for AI infrastructure.
Meanwhile, in politics, the U.S. shutdown seems to be ending. And on trade, President Trump says a deal with India is close.
Switzerland is also nearing a deal to get a much better 15% tariff rate on its exports to the U.S. Geopolitically, though, tensions remain. China protested a speech by Taiwan's vice president, and Thailand suspended its peace process with Cambodia.
You know, what really stands out today is this contrast. You have this domestic push for financial integrity, right? Banning the Rule of 78, finishing the 1MDB recovery.
Right, cleaning things up at home.
But at the same time, there's this urgency from the PM for Khazanah to race into the high-risk, high-reward, rare earth sector with China.
It's a fascinating split. It shows a country trying to manage risk locally while grasping for massive growth opportunities globally.
It's the blend of regulatory caution at home and strategic urgency abroad that really defines the market today.
Absolutely. We're building the future with things like MVV 2.0 while actively working to make the financial system fairer for every single person.
Make sure you subscribe to the Malaysia Money Matters podcast for all our latest deep dives. Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you would like a deeper dive into all the investment opportunities from today's news, subscribe to my newsletter at moneymatters.substack.com. I will be sharing a deeper analysis of the key investment opportunities from today's news, including what makes these opportunities stand out and how they fit into the broader market trends. By subscribing to the Malaysia Money Matters newsletter, you will also get exclusive insights on my watch list and portfolio and fundamental reports on Malaysian listed companies.